Okay, we're going to take a picture first of all of our front bedroom at the cabin, and Marianne and I are going to narrate this. This is what is today, dear? The 7th of November, 1997. The first thing I'm going to do is just pan around the room a little bit, and you'll notice that on each of the windows we have, I'm going to loosen this thing up a little bit here so I can turn it. We have metal blinds, also on the bay windows. Okay, and then I'm going to pan into the first of the twin beds, and obviously on each bed we have a bedspread, likewise sheets and blanket. And then likewise, the next thing you see is a partially opened up quilt made by Marianne's grandmother in 1939, a matching one on the other bed. Going further, you'll notice that there's a director's chair sitting over in front of the window, followed by a quilt frame that we got from Coomer's last year for about $75, followed by a couple of lamps and a mirror. Sitting on a dresser, and likewise I guess sitting there is a mirror, also a wastebasket right beside it. Here's the other quilt, bed, lamp, and likewise nightstand. Okay, now we'll call it quits for a second or two and we'll go into the closet. Finishing up in the closet, you'll notice a laundry basket, likewise another director's chair, and finally that thing back on the back wall of the closet is the screen door for our window, or our door by the fireplace in the living room. Panning up, you'll notice a series of games, and likewise some more games over there. Panning down on the bed, we now have 1, 2, 3, 4 quilts for a twin-sized bed, and likewise that yellow quilt that I'll pan over to. That yellow quilt right there is a quilt made by Michael's grandmother for him, all handmade. Likewise, and now we're getting about finished up here, you'll notice a few more games on the bed. And then panning on over, you'll notice a very cheap cooler, followed by some more games, and followed by more games over on this bed. Okay, and that's about it for this bedroom. Oh, I guess I did forget to show also the ironing board. Can't forget the ironing board. Okay, with that out of the way, we're now finished with this bedroom. We're now going into the second bathroom. And you might notice again on this bathroom window there's a vinyl blind, followed by a set of towels, hand towel, assorted toothbrushes. I think you can see about everything that's necessary to see. A scale on the floor, a couple of rugs. Likewise another set of towels hanging over there, a bath mat by the shower. Panning around this way, notice the floor to ceiling cabinets, likewise the John with the scrubber and another wastebasket. Okay, now in this linen closet, you can see the towels, etc. I'm going to open up the bottom and another series of towels, sheets, etc. And finally in the bottom case, more sheets, more towels, etc. And if necessary, I think we could probably itemize them. There's quite a number of paper towels, a plunger for the bathroom, and likewise, I don't know, some spray of some sort. In the drawers, typical assortment of things in the drawer, in the other drawer. Okay, so that pretty much handles bathroom number 2. Okay? Okay, we're now looking in the pantry, which is off the bedroom, which we just discussed, and I'm just going to pan up and down to give a brief idea of the types and quantities of food present. Notice the iron, Likewise soups. Finally go on down. Notice a soup pot, a couple of soup pots, some pop. Vacuum cleaner. Another tank type vacuum cleaner down below. More various and sundry things. We'll pan up through the middle and up to the top where we see the turkey pan. Various and sundry pans, cans, etc. There's a roaster, followed by the waffle iron, etc. Another iron, and that's about the size of. Okay, we're now in Mike and Chris's bedroom. Notice the nightstand, followed by another double bed with another homemade quilt that's made by my grandmother, and then an Afghan made by my grandmother, and likewise a throw. Nightstand, lamp, and likewise on the windows again, metal blinds. Panning on over again to the bay window, metal blinds on each of the 3 windows in the bay window, and likewise the other double bed again has a homemade quilt. Probably I think there are 2 blankets in that cellophane wrap, a ski bib, and likewise a ski mask. Panning on over, a couple of prints that are not hanging on the wall right now, and finally likewise a dresser that the boys keep their clothes in. I think the dresser, for all intents and purposes, is empty right now. You notice the butt of a daisy shot or a daisy BB gun in the corner. Panning on over to the closet. Notice several tackle boxes, likewise a vaporizer. Some of Michael's shirts. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shirts. Panning on down, a couple of pairs of shoes and a lug wrench. Likewise in the closet is the tongue for Michael, or I guess my Jeep now, and likewise a pair of snow boots. Panning on over are a selection of different fishing rods, followed finally by a wastebasket and likewise another director's. Okay, I'm now taking a scan of our bedroom, the master bedroom. Again, you'll notice a rather large window with metal blinds. Scanning on a little bit further, there are 2 prints by B. McDonald from Tlaquepaque. They're watercolors. Scanning down, notice a rather nice lamp, and likewise a bedside table. Further, notice a king size bed with about 6 pillows on it, and again a homemade quilt from Chuck's grandmother. Very pretty. Another nightstand, clock, a couple of clocks, another lamp, DeGrazia, and likewise another rather large window with a metal shades. Panning on further, a little pen by Chris, followed by a painting by Dr. Al Hales. Now we'll go on. You might know that's just a jigsaw puzzle on the wall. Likewise, a rather nice chair. Dresser. We'll get what's in it. Wastebasket. Another dresser. This is Chuck's dresser over here. Followed by a little table that Michael made when he was in shop. Some spikes on it, things of that nature. Phone. Another lamp. And now we're recording again. This is a bookcase with obviously assorted books in it. Likewise, a table that we use as a desk. A couple of chairs. Okay. I think that pretty much summarizes things in here. Notice over in that direction is the bathroom, which we'll be getting to in a minute or 2. As far as the contents of the dresser are concerned, notice in the bottom drawer that's open there's a pair of jeans and a pair of long underwear. Likewise in the top there are assorted gloves, hats, winter materials. That's about all that's in that dresser. And notice I just took the contents of Marianne's dresser out and put them on the bed. Notice a couple of sweatshirts, a couple of sweaters, like 3 sweatshirts, 2 sweaters, a couple of scarves, 2 pairs of gloves, and a pair of sunglasses. By the way, in the top dresser drawer over in my dresser, there were 5 pairs of gloves and likewise 5 ski caps. This is now the contents of the master closet. You might notice a Christmas tree wreath, some more snow boots. Likewise, I'm not going to specify everything in here. A couple of purses, a oscillating fan. Going on down, you might notice in through here several jackets, like I see 3 jackets. The tabletop for outside, table, pillows, a blanket, a couple of tennis rackets. Likewise, that apparatus near the back is a evaporative cooler for when it's rather hot up here in the summertime. Scanning over this way, back near the back, is a humidifier followed by a box fan, and likewise there's 1, 2, 3, 4 outside chairs in here, plus a set of TV tables, which you can just barely see over in that region. Other things in here is my dad's shotgun, and likewise, an old card table, 2 card table chairs. Let's see if there's anything else back in here. Yeah, a very nice dining room tablecloth plus napkins. And that looks like about it. A heating pad, pair of tennis shoes, and rags up on that shelf. I think that's probably about it. What we can do now for a second is just simply kind of scan in here a little bit closer. Top shelf, hanging materials, okay. Under Chuck's sink, under Marianne's sink, one of the drawers under Marianne's sink, the other drawer, the drawers under Chuck's sink, nothing in that. Around the bathroom area itself, hand towels, me, another mirror, another hand towel. And finally, we're now recording the shower area of the master bathroom. Notice towels hanging. And this is the linen closet area in our master bathroom. Notice a couple of sleeping bags rolled up. Likewise, assorted towels, a bedspread, and finally not much down in that bottom layer other than some toilet paper. Okay, we're now recording in the living room, taking a panoramic view. These are our new bar stools. 3 of them we got from, what was the name of that manufacturer, Marianne?
Copper Creek.
What was it?
Copper Creek.
Yeah, something like that. We got the receipts at home. Scanning on over, there's a picture. Over on the far wall, there's a watercolor from Tlaquepaque. Over here we have a 20-inch Sony Trinitron TV color sitting on a table. Likewise above that, oops, I said likewise again, got to be careful about that, is the VCR that Michael gave us for Christmas, no, for our wedding anniversary this year, brand new. And above that is a stereo system.
Cheap compact disc.
No, cheap compact disc. It's a Sanyo that we bought from Price Club. And Michael's VCR is a symphonic video cassette recorder, VHS HQ. Also an indoor-outdoor thermometer. In here we have wooden blinds. Above the mantle, well, let's see if we can actually see the mantle before we talk about what's above it. Yeah, we got the mantle pretty well in control. Notice we have a wood rack followed by the mantle, And I'm going to ask Marianne to describe some of the things up on the mantle. Go ahead, dear, you're on.
Well, this is a wicker basket with old tapes,
Old tapes, right?
music tapes. That's a
Nantucket Firelighter.
fire lighter. Limoges Virgin Mary.
Right,
This is an Orpheus candle holder.
right.
The rest is
An antique weather predictor up there in the middle from
Very
Marianne's house
antique.
in Rochester.
and vanilla candle and another basket and
That basket, by the way, was handmade by Anila, a Buddhist monk. And what's that blue vase right there?
it's from England. This
Okay,
is
it's an
Susan
English
Roberts.
vase. And then another candle, and likewise a little incense burner behind that.
Damper open, damper closed.
Damper open, damper close sign. Also, a
Fireplace.
set of fireplace tools and a couple of white porcelain buckets that we use for ashes, but they're actually antiques for my grandparents. They used to be thunder mugs. A full glass door with, again, wooden blinds. Chair that Marianne's sitting on, plus a little table beside it, and then I'm looking directly right now at an antique lamp that's been in my family for, oh, probably since the 1930s, and it's sitting on a hand-carved wooden table that has also been in my family since the 30s. On the wall, you can see a picture, what would it be? I guess a puzzle of the Durango-Silverton Railroad, and also above Marianne is a framed picture by Sunset Magazine. Continuing on, a couple of chairs, a couple of end tables. We'll now scan across. Notice Marianne's slippers there, and a couch that we're going to be replacing fairly soon. A teak table with 1, 2, 3, 4 chairs. Also an end table with an Indian lamp. End table with an Indian lamp on the other side. What's that plate over there, Marianne?
It's DeGrazia.
A DeGrazia plate, a fancy candle from Tlaquepaque, and you can just barely see the top of about a $40 candle that we purchased in Prescott to celebrate our 30th anniversary this summer. I think we've talked about the stools here that we just purchased. We'll scan around now fairly quickly. Another chair.
How about your baseball?
Hammock. Oh yeah, Marianne mentioned my old baseball glove, which is what I had when I was a little kid, so it's got some age to it. And now up here on this shelf, I think things to notice here are that antique lamp, which is from my grandparents' house, kerosene lamp. Right next to it is an old-fashioned antique duck collar. The other stuff up there is this potpourri for our potpourri pot. A little doodad here hanging on the wall, and continuing on over to the kitchen, our scissors, telephone. And I guess I forgot to mention it, but there's another telephone right over by where Marianne is sitting. Would you hold up that phone, Marianne? We wouldn't want to think that something was there that wasn't there. Okay, great. Looking up above, notice, what is the ceiling made out of, Marianne? I think it's a cedar
Yeah.
cedar planking. There's our lamp over our dining room table, a rather large beam, and also our fan that's up on the ceiling. So I'll just take a couple of scans around here. And I think that's probably about it. I'm going to scan from the other direction now. And she's not replaceable, but at least we got her here. She's insured. And here's that picture I was mentioning from Arizona Highways. And we'll just take a scan around here. Here's that lamp. And notice we're now getting over into the kitchen area with the refrigerator. I'm sure this is going to be kind of glary, but I just wanted to show the clear story windows. Again, the fan. I think that's about a 22-foot ceiling right there. And then scanning on out into the kitchen. And we'll take care of the kitchen area in just a few minutes. We're now filming in the utility room, and I'm just taking a scan across the top shelf. followed by the next shelf down. Just miscellaneous stuff. It's a Kenmore dryer. Got it Sears a few years ago. An old-fashioned plain level tape drill Kenmore washer. Tools above the water heater. Now we'll back out. That is the fire extinguisher. Beginning with a continuation now in the living room, the hammock. Going out into the hallway, notice the light, the picture from Georgetown Visitation College, telephone, scanning over towards the doorway to the utility room, a hanging tray, our cabinets, our a General Electric refrigerator, oops, sorry about that. Bay window with knickknacks and hanging knickknacks. Again, a wooden line hanging over towards the microwave. Stove. Turns out that it's a Whirlpool stove. More cabinets. Toaster, microwave, this is the island, silver tray, and then here's where we'll start looking in cabinets right about in there. I'm now looking at the cabinet underneath the island. Notice there's a Hamilton Beach blender, an electric juicer, crock pot, another small crock pot, one of those hand blenders, a couple of cookbooks, and I think that's probably about it. Monkey pod, bowls, trays, more bowls. Next cabinet over. Wine glasses, it looks like it should be a set of 6 assorted mugs. Top of the counter. Again, the bay window. Some hanging materials. Notice in this cabinet right by the window we have glasses. They're Chicago Bear glasses or NFL glasses. A variety of more glasses, thermal glasses. That looks to me like about 11 or 12 plus some glasses that we won. A Toshiba microwave, kind of old. Notice we have a Lazy Susan with various and assorted materials, top and bottom shelf. I'll give it another spin. Back up so that we can see the various and sundry items. Another cabinet. Liquor cabinet above the stove. Cutting board. This is a cabinet in which we have most of our dishes. It's the pattern of the dishes. Under the sink. Napkin drawer. Crackers, oil. Lazy Susan, well equipped. Knife drawer. Not much really there, a couple of baking pans. Under the stove drawer, see about 3 frying pans. A wrap drawer, silverware drawer, miscellaneous. By the mixers, most important thing there. Hand mixer. Electric knife. Miscellaneous. Rather large drawer full of towels, oven mitts, etc. More towels, wipers. Under the cabinet. That pretty much wraps up the kitchen. I guess I forgot this handmade rug on the floor, which is made by Sue Kesser. This is the materials that is in the dishwasher right now. Obviously that would just about finish up filling up our cabinets. And on the top drawer, okay, that's about it. It's, by the way, a Whirlpool dishwasher, power, clean, energy saver, does a very good job. I'm now recording outside on the porch of the cabin. Notice the front door. The wood that we have stacked. A couple of lights. Again, this paneling out here. Arizona, yes flag. Our Buick. Jeep. Originally this was Unit 12, lot 79. A window, bird feeder, table, chimes. We hook on our another decent wood supply. Again, a pan up to the Jeep. I think we bought 2 cords of wood this fall, so we got most of it still here. Some of it covered. I'm now looking out in the backyard. Our Weber cooker. trash can for our ashes, our back deck, electrical supply, the bird feeder, chimney, screen door we just purchased, which we have the receipt for. That's about it. Okay, I'm now looking under the house. Notice I've got a long ladder, 22-footer, plus a step ladder. Likewise, an old wheelbarrow. Sprayer. Weed eater. One shovel. Another shovel. Weed whacker. Snow shovel. Hose. Sprayer. Sled. Miscellaneous stuff. Rake. Etc. I'm now looking at the exterior of the cabin, the back side, panning around towards the porch, chimney, on over, lever grill. And again, I'm now looking at the front of the house, panning around, Jeep, Buick. Yeah, I get a good shot from. Yeah. This is June 1st, 1998, and really what I wanted to do was just film a couple of new pieces of furniture that we got. This is a new couch that we just recently purchased. The old couch we put back in Tempe. Likewise, it's another love seat over in through here. So a couple of love seats. Likewise, we replaced the old large Litton microwave with this new Sharp microwave. Came from down at our house in Tempe. We likewise got 4 chairs to match the bar stools that we've previously recorded, as you can see them there. Likewise, a new runner for the table, matching material. 4 chairs, 3 here. And this one here in the bedroom, the desk area. We took the old teak table and likewise chairs down to Tempe, which we now have in Tempe. We likewise bought a new quilt rack and likewise mounted a couple of quilts on the rack, as you can see here. And I think those are the main changes. This is, as I said, on the 1st of June, 1998. Thank you very much.